everybody, welcome back to Sabrina J. Today we will be talking about road rage, and I have a little thing here about I will draw new ones each time. So hopefully you can see this, and I will draw me as the blue car or someone as the blue car, and then the person who gives you road rage as the red one. And this happened to me the other day, so I will do this one first. So we're sitting at a stoplight, and it was a turn only lane, a double turn only lane, and he was in the farthest lane to the right in the same turn only lane, and I was on the other side of the turn only lane. And there was somebody behind him. I'll just draw that one as a purple little box square. And when the light turned green, the guy pulled out into my little turn only lane piece and stopped for about 5 seconds. And the person behind him honked at him. I was just sitting there yelling in my car because I don't honk at people or anything like that or flip people off or any of that. I just yell and scream in my car. So nobody can hear my road rage unless you're in the car with me. And that's very rarely. I don't like driving with people in the car with me. And stopped here. Let's put a little dot there. Then he got back in his own turn lane slowly. Came out, and at this time I was about, let's do this pink one, about here, and I was proceeding. He slowed down to like 5 miles an hour, then stopped about here. I was past him at that time, looked in my rear view mirror, and he was just stopped. And no hazard lights or anything like that. If you have your hazard lights on, I can understand it. There may be something wrong with your vehicle or you're lost or anything like that. Whenever I get lost, if I can pull over off to the side of the road, I do. And I also use my hazard lights so somebody knows that there's something wrong, that I'm going to be driving slower or anything like that. And that is one of my pet peeves. If you just like slow down and you don't give any warning or anything like that, because nobody knows what's going on. If you put your hazard lights or something like that on, or even flash your brakes, I know that you're going to slow down and going to start slowing down in who knows what for. I hate it when people don't use their blinkers too. That is a bad thing. Use your blinkers always. And let's go here. Another thing that I hate is when you're driving and it's a passing zone. And they pass you, which I don't mind people passing me. If I'm not going fast enough for you, you can pass me. So on the little blue square, and he is the red square, he or she is the red square, and this drives me crazy as well. See, it's a passing zone, and what he does is he goes, passes me, which is I'm usually okay with, then immediately brakes and slows down to turn off. Like, you can't it'll take you like not even that far. I've had people where it was the next turn and it was still within view, pass me and turn on that road, and it drives me crazy. Every time you couldn't wait like another 7 or 8 seconds to get to your turn, you are in that big of a rush. Another thing that I hate is people who outrageously speed. There are people that outrageously speed all the time that go past me. And there was a guy that passed me one time. He got pulled over, which I laughed and laughed because I'm like, I hope you get pulled over. That's what I think. If you speed, I mean, like, not 5 or 6 miles over, that's easily done sometimes, depending on your area and if you don't know what the speed limit is. If you know what the speed limit is and you're going, because I was going on the highway, so it's 65. This guy was going like 90 miles an hour, flew past me. In a matter of seconds, he was gone, out of my view. I drove another 3 or 4 miles, and he got pulled over. That same exact car. I just started laughing. It was hilarious. I love when justice like that happens. I've only gotten pulled over once. And it was I guess it was the only time I was ever pulled over. I was so nervous, shaking, and I didn't know what to do. I'm like, what do I need? And I just seriously had no clue what to do. And cops in general, they just creep me out. Not really creep me out. It's more of I'm afraid of them. They are very intimidating people. And when I got pulled over, it was by an undercover cop car. I was going to Apple Fest in Gays Mills, Wisconsin, the apple capital of the world. And he wouldn't let me off with a warning. I was practically crying because I got so worked up. I was so scared of what was going to happen. And I just never want to get pulled over ever again. It's the scariest feeling ever. Another thing that I hate is drunk drivers. Anytime you have drunk drivers, they're either driving way too slow, crossing the center line, or going off to crossing the yellow line. No matter if they're crossing the yellow line or the white line, I meant white line before, or the white line, I will not pass them. I will stay behind them until I have to turn or go on to a different road. The reason I will not pass them is because what if I go to pass them and they come over and sideswipe me? And collisions are so terrible. Another thing that I hate, and this has happened to me before, is a teenager was parked in the parking lot. I was going in to park beside that person. He still had the car in reverse. So and his friend was getting out, so I was kind of stopped behind him going to go into the parking space, but I had to wait for his friend to get out of the parking space and out of the car and shut the car door. His friend got out and went over, and they were still talking, and I went to pull in a little bit, and the driver got out of the car, and his car revved and backed into me. It was still in reverse. So that was my only accident I've been in, and my car's fixed and everything's done now. So I just was so frightened. I didn't know what to do because you can never really prepare for if you're in a car accident or any type of accident at all. And Munchkin. This is my dog, Munchkin. She's so cute. Munchie. She's looking at the door right now because my other dog started knocking things over in my room and knocked the camera over, so I had to re-tape. So she's outside the door and scratching, and Munchkin, don't bark. But that's Munchkin, one of my dogs. And so I think I covered most of what enrages me about people being on the road. And people that don't like to stop at stop signs. They just roll through, like they'll do a rolling stop, and it's mainly at 4 ways. People like to go before you. Like, I will be stopped and be nice enough. I will stop, and then if you stop at the same time, I usually let you go first unless they wave me on first. So I just don't like the people that you'll be sitting there waiting for everybody else in their turn to go at a four-way, and then from there they will go like it was their turn to go. I hate that because I will start to go and then they like zoom straight across or wherever that they're going that will be in my way of that I could possibly hit them. And I'm just terrified of accidents. And my uncle died in a car accident, so I'm just terrified of car accidents all in general. But if you use your blinker, make sure to watch where you're going. We shouldn't have any road rage problems. If you are not using your blinker or turning in front of somebody, cutting somebody off, or any of that, you're going to have people that are going to be honking their horn at you, flipping you off, or completely yelling in their car about you because you just cut them off, or you just turned and didn't use a blinker. And my dog's about to go crazy if I don't let her in soon. So that will be the end of this week's video. I don't know what I'm going to do for next week. It probably will be a something to do with makeup or hair or something like that. I don't know. I got a lot of things that I have to do for school, so it might not be a long video. It might be a short video. It may even be just a vlog of me going somewhere, going across campus or anything like that. But I would like to thank you for watching, and I will see you next Wednesday.